All right, carrying on with this idea of what you could implement in a non-permissive environment where you can't carry anything. Well, we looked at, the use of a newspaper, but what about a magazine, rolled up magazine? So, like I said, you get on a plane, they give you 3 newspapers and there's an in-flight magazine. Well, you can weaponize that. Magazines, rolled up magazine of good structure is common, again, captivity tool, captivity weapon, right? Now, if you've got some, like quite a thick, glossy magazine or like a travel brochure, I mean, that's probably the best, but even a relatively thin magazine will work, right? It's got a spine. So what you're going to do is roll it up really tight and the 2 ends. Right, now, the impacted part, the structural integrity of this end and this end, if I thrust with it or if I pound down with it, is pretty surprising, right? So I can just show you to this wall here. If I smash onto that structure, it's still going to hold structural integrity. Right? So a rolled up magazine, and it doesn't look anything like you've got it in your hand, you're talking as if it's in your hand, all your brain will register is magazine. But right here in my central grip, I've got a fist load that I can grab you, manipulate you, and I can pound you with the end. Or I've got an angular shot coming into the side of the neck, then I can grab you, I can pound you with the end. So, rolled up magazine. One way one of my friends used to implement this when he would take any flight travel is, as I've said before in other tutorials talking about this kind of thing, the American $50 is the biggest coin I've ever seen. It's like a big, chunky, huge 50p piece. You would get on the flight, open the in-flight magazine in the middle, you would lay 5 of these coins down the spine, and you would roll it up and put an elastic band around it, and just put it back. Now it's got a weighted cosh. Now, using this like a stick structure where you're hitting with the end of it would be valid. As it is now rolled up, I wouldn't say so at all. I'm only interested in the ends of it, because the ends are solid and good structural integrity. But if you made it, like I've just mentioned, then understand what you are in fact doing. You are in fact manufacturing a weapon. That's something that can be used for weapon potential. And of course, you're a sail a flight, 18 hours, there may or may not ever be a need for that. But again, it's a non-permissible environment. These are the kind of things you've got to think about. Right? If you're going to use this, I would use it, like I said, as you hold it in the middle. But another way in which you might use it is just to allow a couple of inches off the end. So I've just got this way 2 inches of what you call a puño sticking out, and the rest of it's just like hid behind my hand or resting along my forearm. And again, this doesn't look anything. And you will see this in cold steel, John Jasper Steyer's manual, when he talks about Kengler's method of using a stick, which incorporated the long stick, using it in the conventional way, and the short stick, using the short end for striking and thrusting. This leaves this end for you to just implement laying alongside your elbow. So as an example, you could flank a subject and smash this into the groin to bring them forward, capture the head and thrust this up into the chest box and into the face. Conversely, you could get an angular shot into the side of the neck, grab, and then start pounding with your elbows. So the short stick method was first depicted in John Jasper Steyer's book, printed first, I believe, in the 50s, which implemented the Kengler method of using the short stick. But basically, all you're doing is rolling up the magazine, holding it in the middle, or holding it just like I said, and where you're focusing your attention is on the end portion. Right? So, it's an idea of what I just showed you. But now, if I was to use the short stick method, if I just put this in the groin, in here, in the high line, if his head come forward, I can start smashing this up into the face. If I'm using it in a conventional way like this, I can fist load grab and then just hammer with it. If it bends, falls, destroys in one application, then it's done. It's served its purpose, or just branch to an unarmed skill. But the point is, you will get considerably good effect in terms of striking with either end of a rolled up magazine without putting the coins in it to make it heavier, without putting an elastic band around it to keep it all together. There it would be a genuine force multiplier for sure. All we've got to do is just take a normal magazine, not too thick, not too thin, roll it up, structural integrity, now it's nice and tight. One of the things to understand just as a criminal deception is what you see here in my hand rolled up is indeed a rolled up magazine, right? Imagine that was just 1 or 2 pages of A4 sized paper rolled up in the same way. It would look exactly the same. Your brain would see it in exactly the same way. And if I was holding that, let's say, at this end, your brain would just see a magazine, right? But in point of fact, this may be indeed how a criminal will carry a knife or use a knife from deception. So the knife is to hand, and this is wrapped around it, and all you see is a magazine. That's all the brain registers. And now this will collapse on impact, of course, thrusting through with the knife. Just as a point to be aware of if anyone comes to you with a rolled up magazine to hand, understand how it can be used as a weapon, and understand how it can be used as a subterfuge to hide a blade.